Day one of FNCS semifinals is over and we have a lot to talk about. We have huge names like Moneymaker dropping out of upper brackets. We have game-breaking glitches costing the qualification for teams like Kanata, and Yclix is saying this is one of the worst tournaments he's ever played. There's a lot to cover. Let's jump into it. Don't worry, I'm going to break down where all your favorite teams are, who qualified, who's in grands, and what it means. Because if you're confused about the format, don't worry, you're not the only one. There's two different brackets running for semifinals. The upper bracket, which is the top 50 teams, and then the lower bracket, which is the 205 teams that weren't in the top 50 teams. Both these brackets are running at the same time. The upper bracket was set lobbies, 5 games of set lobbies. Anyone who won a game went straight through to grand finals, kind of like the reboot rounds, and the bottom 25 teams dropped down to the lower bracket. In the lower bracket, they were playing 3 hours, 10 games to try to get top 30 to jump into the upper bracket to replace the 30 teams who are now gone. And that's for tomorrow. So let's run through what happened in upper bracket, what happened in lower bracket, who were the big movers. I apologize for my voice. I've been doing 12-hour streams, so it's a little bit cooked, but let me run you through it. So the 5 winners of the games on EU FNCS was Mustache and Malabuka, Vidil and Rezon, Cringe and Noms, Queasy and Thomas, and Sinad and Vanyak. They won the 5 games. They're going straight through to grands. And now a lot of these guys had crazy wins. They had crazy reactions, but my favorite of all is Vidil and Rezon. Going into their last game, they were doing not so great. They got a 34th, an 18th, a 19th, and a 46th. So they were at risk of dropping down to the lower bracket entirely, and they managed to win the last game with 7 kills to qualify straight through to grands. And as always, Rezon had a lot to say.
Go down, go down. Do not die. Do not die insta.
5 Sekunden! Dead! Dead, einer! Deiner ist Ausnahmen! Er hat keine Medkits, keine Medkits, keine Medkits! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, Alex! Let's go, Alex! Let's go! Ja! Deutschland! Dich Stallions! Dich Pixie! Wir sehen uns in Grenz! Oh mein Gott, ich press out!
Don't worry, I'm not expecting you to speak German. You probably heard a lot of choice words for certain players. Rezon chose that moment to call out a lot of the players who have been contesting him on spawn. Rezon obviously extremely excited and passionate as always, but what does that mean for the other big teams? So if a team didn't get a win, they had to make sure they stayed inside the top 25 to make sure they were still in the upper bracket for FNCS. So the big names who didn't get a win, like Yanis, like Enderlex, like Vico, like Seti, they are all still inside the upper bracket. Veno and Taysom were in there, but any team that was from 26 down to 50th, they are now dropping down to the lower bracket. Their FNCS isn't over. They can still make it back to the upper bracket, or in day 3, they can still qualify from the lower bracket, but it means their FNCS is going to be a lot harder. And we had some really big teams in there like Moneymaker and Fnayan. Unfortunately, coming in 40th overall, only finishing on 56 points. So if you're a Moneymaker fan, his chance at grands has gotten harder, but he can still do it. Just quickly before we cover NA, I want to let you guys know I just dropped an insane creative map. It's called Minigame Box Fights. It's a box fight map with 13 different unique game modes that you can play to work on your skills and have fun. You get all the benefits of practicing your box fights, but it never gets stale and boring. You have your favorite game modes like headshot only, one shot, but we have some crazy game modes in there like barrier fights. We also have a god mode that initiates if you get 12 kills in a row. So you are the god and you're taking on the rest of the lobby. It's super fun. If you die early, there's an FFA Zone Wars scenario that you can run through and just practice your mechanics. I'd love it if you give it a try. It's Minigame Box Fights, codes on the screen. Now, covering NA, who were our 5 winners? Game 1, we had none other than Cooper and Mero taking it home, the Copenhagen global champs, proving they've still got it with an 11 elim win. And now this is Cooper's first game under Dignitas. He did just sign with Dignitas. I'm so proud to have him on the team. I'll talk about that a bit later in the video, but they really did show up and prove a lot of people who've been questioning them wrong, saying, did they get lucky at Copenhagen? Have they still got it? But I do have to mention, Cooper and Mero did get a little bit lucky in this game. This was the bug I was talking about. Cooper was actually going to lose the heal off to Aegis, who was playing the medkits on high ground, but Aegis got a new medkit bug. And I know you're probably thinking, Ozzy, this list of bugs is getting insane right now. I know, it's crazy. Basically, a lot of pros would combine their medkits into one slot so they wouldn't take extra damage in Storm, waiting to pop the next medkit. This now creates a glitch where even though you're clicking the medkit, your character shakes its head as if you're trying to reload a gun that doesn't have any ammo. This cost Aegis the game. He couldn't pop the medkit. He died and Cooper and Mero won. It was super unfortunate to see. Canada Aegis played so well, but they just didn't get the qual. Cooper Mero still played this game fantastically. They deserved this win, but it was super unfortunate of Aegis. This bug also happened to Cammy and Seti today on EU as well. I mean, luckily for them, or unlucky, depending on how you look at it, they didn't have enough meds to win it anyway. Cammy and Seti still would have lost the game, but it was really unfortunate to see this affect two massive teams when there's so much on the line. As for the rest of the wins, we had Scissor and Chimp, Jagveer and School, Skittles and Trashy, and Muzz and Paper. So maybe a few names there you're not used to or you wouldn't expect. It is awesome to see some of these underdogs going straight through to grand finals. And like I just mentioned, what does it mean for the other teams? So huge names like Peter Bomb, Poyo, Sphinx and Pump, Aviv and Booga, Acorn Cold, Clicks and Epic Whale, Dukes it. They're all still in that top 25. Those teams have not dropped down to lower bracket. Vreet, Ritual and Reet, one of the big favorites to win FNCS this season, only just staying inside upper bracket on 102 points. So Reet unfortunately had a few games with some issues. He had the map bug, which is the bug when you pull out your map, you crash. I know, it's insane. Also, Reet going down a few times to the servers looking a little bit questionable. I did mention earlier in the video, Clicks talking about how this is one of the worst tournaments he's ever played. The lag was pretty horrendous. At this point, it looks like any single tournament that Epic Games is going to be broadcasting anytime they have observers in the lobby, people running the Spectate client, it really massively increases the lag of that lobby. I've talked about in the past why this happens. It's basically just the fact that the spectators are flying around the map, getting all the information sent to them from the different players. It creates spikes in lags and it creates clips like this.
Yeah, we can play it. Put it up.
Nice.
Yeah, ready? 3, 2, 1.
26.
How much yet?
26.
Obviously, Clicks wasn't too happy going down to things like this. This wasn't the only time he died to lag tonight, which led him to say this about Epic Games.
9, 10 spectators. 10 spectators. Oh my god. You idiots. You ass game. Oh my god. Y'all don't need 10 spectators. Just have all the antics watch, bro. Y'all pull 8,000 viewers, bro.
It is extremely frustrating for these players. They don't want to have to know that when they play a game that's being broadcasted, it's going to be laggy. So hopefully Epic can figure something out. It did affect some big teams who are now dropping down into the lower bracket. Mason and NPen are dropping down now. 20 is dropping down. Pamstu, Cam, some really big teams unfortunately struggling, and they're now down to the lower bracket for NA going into tomorrow. Lower bracket wasn't without its excitement either, though. We had a lot of big teams on EU jump up into upper bracket. We had Marco's team, we had Xweezy, Misha was in there as well. We had some really big teams, and over on NA, we had some very exciting teams. One of my favorite things about this FNCS format, even though I know it's really confusing, a lot of people haven't been the biggest fan, is the fact that we do have a lot of the content creator teams, or at least I thought they were content creator teams, make it into heats. We had teams like Ken Beans, Jiven, Typical Gamer, and it was really funny to watch them play. And the reason why I say content creators is because we actually had Jiven make it through into the upper bracket. We have Jiven and Piggle, who are two people I'm very close with. I'm super happy with them making it top 25. They're jumping up to upper bracket. We also had teams like G Money jumping up as well. Unfortunately, we didn't have Bucky. Bucky and Okus, one of the biggest, most hyped up teams in lower bracket, unfortunately just fell short of making upper brackets. We did still have Batman, Booger, and Rapid. We had Bacon and TK, some really big names coming up, but I really wanted to show you the moment when Typical Gamer won a game of FNCS semifinals. It's just so exciting to watch players like this get to play FNCS at such a high level and really hold their own.
What if they don't have any? I still have 4, bro. Don't uncrouch. Oh my, wait, one. Head. One for you. Build. Win.
Let's go! Let's go! Woo!
What a game!
Woo!
Oh my gosh, let's go.
Oh my.
Good medkits.
Come on!
Bro.
Woo! Gosh, we're them. That's the Baja Blast. I'm seeing stars, bro.
That's it for the FNCS news, but we did still have some exciting signings across the board in Fortnite esports this week. Like I mentioned earlier, Cooper joining Dignitas, rounding out an absolutely ridiculous roster. I'm a part of it, so I'm obviously going to be biased as well. We had Man City signing Seti and Cold, so getting another NA pickup for Man City, now having Threats and Cold representing them on NA. Agent also making big moves this week, signing Bucky and Peterbot, announcing both both of them in the same video. It's been really big. There's been other big signings outside of this as well, and it's just awesome to see Fortnite orgs coming back, signing a bunch of big players. Obviously, we got FNCS guaranteed LAN events, and it looks like orgs are now seeing the value in signing Fortnite players again, which I am so excited about. My voice is dying. That does it for another video. Check out Minigame Box Fights. The codes are top of the description. I know you'll love it. I'd really appreciate it.